Aloha, everyone. This is Chesapeake Movie Thoughts, and my thoughts today will be about the movie, or the movie series, I suppose you could say, Kingsman. Kingsman The Secret Service, and Kingsman The Golden Circle, which I just saw yesterday with the at the meetup for the Chesapeake Movie Club. Thank you to everyone who came out, by the way. And about the new movie, The Golden Circle, I had such a good time. That was an incredibly fun movie. It was a blast. It's probably like way up there. I mean, it's not the best movie I saw this year, but it's up there. Like my favorite movie this year was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Wonder Woman was another great one. Maybe Spider-Man Homecoming up there, but this one is way up there too. It's that much fun to watch. Let me tell you a little bit about this series in general. This is a spy movie series. It's an homage to old James Bond films. And the basic story is that it's about this group of independent spies. They explain that there were this group of wealthy tailors who, after World War I, had lost their heirs to the war, and so had decided to, to fund this organization that would save the world from other mistakes like World War I. And this independent spy organization was born, called Kingsman. And these are gentlemen spies. They're like a whole group of James Bonds. They're very dapper and very proper. But they make it really cool. They make it as cool as James Bond makes it. There is a part in the movie, in the first movie, I'm talking about the Secret Service here, the first movie. There's a part in there where the main spy, his codename's Galahad, that we've been following, he is having a conversation with the megalomaniacal villain for the movie. He's played by Samuel L. Jackson. His name is Valentine. And it's very kind of, it's not breaking the fourth wall, it's really leaning on the fourth wall, because they're talking about, what they're talking about relates to the movie that they're in, but they are talking about old movies. They're talking about, do they like spy movies? And Galahad says, well, I don't like the modern spy movie as I like the old ones. The more modern spy movies are too serious, and it's like that's like a mission statement for the movie. This movie has decided to eschew the modern spy movie tropes that have like come along after like the Bourne Identity, in which they got very gritty, like a lot of gritty realism. This decides to go back to the old days of just these fun romps, with over-the-top action, just completely crazed villains, and just totally, completely unrealistically so, but just incredibly, incredibly capable, good guys that are just capable of just about anything. That's what it's trying to do. And it, not only does it try to bring that back, it also tries to like double it, just like put it all on steroids and crank it all up to 11. There are things that are so incredibly crazy, so incredibly ridiculous, even more so than you'd see in like an old James Bond movie. But the thing about it is, these are not, you might think that these are parody, but I never get the feeling that they're parody. It's always, it's like they're not entirely serious, but they're not parody either. It's what I always think about it is that you can practically sell anything to an audience in a movie, no matter how silly, crazy, or ridiculous. If you can make it appear as though the characters, the actors that are playing the characters, if they believe it's real, if it appears to us that they believe it's real, we'll accept it as an audience. And that's why this comes across as a fun movie, and not entirely serious, but not parody either. It's because it is presenting this to us in a way in which the characters appear to believe it, and so we buy it, rather than it presenting it to us as something that's completely unbelievable for the sake of ridicule, like a parody would. Sometimes it's affectionate ridicule, but parody, that's what it does. And these are better James Bond movies than James Bond movies have been lately. I mean, ever since Casino Royale, I mean, they've been trying to be Jason Bourne movies. They've been trying to adopt that gritty realism. And, yeah, it's like the last Pierce Brosnan movie didn't do as well as expected, and so they decided to, change. Jason Bourne had done well at about that time, so they decided to change the direction and, follow that lead. And I mean, a lot of people have liked the Daniel Craig James Bond films, and I won't say I dislike them, but they're just not as fun to me as the classic James Bond movies. And Kingsman shows us the direction they could have gone in. They could have, if they said that, okay, Die Another Day, this isn't working what we're doing, let's make it super serious with Casino Royale, they could have gone in the other direction, and let's dial up all the fun but silly and ridiculous stuff up to 11. And it would have still worked because Kingsman is so great. The Golden Circle, which I saw yesterday, was another great one. I don't know which one I like better, but the Golden Circle, it introduces it not only has the Kingsmen, but it introduces their American counterparts, the Statesmen. And the Statesmen, it's like they took they must have said to themselves at some point, okay, what is it that is like the gentleman's spy concept that can be as fun and, as, like everyone wants to be the gentleman's spy after seeing a James Bond movie. What can we do that is uniquely American that would have that same kind of thing, evoke that same kind of feeling if we do it right? Cowboy. And that's totally what they went with. They made the Statesmen this, organization of these, cowboys. And it's the same thing happened as with the Kingsmen. The Kingsmen who were tailors who decided to fund this spy organization. Well, in the States, it was, they were whiskey makers. They were making liquor, and they decided to fund it. And, you have these American agents that seem to be just as capable and just as good and just as cool in their own way, but they do it all cowboy style instead of proper James Bond kind of spy style. But it's so cool. It works together so well, and I enjoyed that so much. I mean, a lot of those very British things. They they would have their weapons are hidden in very British things, very fancy shoes and umbrellas and things. Whereas in America, they have their weapons hidden in baseballs and baseball bats. Very American things, and I really enjoyed it so much. There's and if you're gonna go watch this movie, watch the first one first. If you can get a hold of the first one on DVD or Blu-ray or streaming, and watch that first. I watched the first one again before going out to see the second one, and I'm so glad I did, because there were so many callbacks to the first one that I'm really glad that all of that was fresh in my memory. It made me enjoy it even more. And there are certain there's a certain cameo that you'll get a really big kick out of. I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a certain cameo in the second movie that you'll get a big kick out of. I think the second movie, I don't know if it's better than the first, but it has... It gets a little more emotional. I got a little teary at one point. And the only thing I'll say about that is John Denver. Just keep that in mind, and you'll know what I mean when you see the movie. But I mean, it's not like Yondu in Guardians Volume 2, but it's a little bit of that flavor. I don't know if it makes it a better movie, but this is something that the first one didn't have. Alright, so basically I recommend it, but definitely see the first one first. And then, and when you go, don't go in, trying to take it too seriously, because the movie does not want you to take it seriously. It doesn't want you to try to pick apart the logic too much, because I found flaws in the logic. But while you're watching it, don't do that. Wait till later to do that. Just go with it and have fun, because it's tremendous fun. I mean, there's like ridiculous things like robot dogs they throw in there. They throw in everything, but they must make it so fun. And they treat it with just enough seriousness. The characters take it just seriously enough that you can suspend your disbelief and just be in this world for a little while and just have such a great time with it. They are a blast. I mean, they're not perfect movies, but it just makes me wish that the James Bond movies had gone in this direction. But I guess, if we don't have the James Bond movies, we've got the Kingsman movies at least. So there's at least something to be grateful for. Alright, like, comment, subscribe, and that's a wrap.